The other crew that I think we should watch closely is this crew in the middle of the race course, lane 3, Wisconsin. Big step up for them this year. 14th at sprints last year, and now looking, to challenge for a pretty good position here in this Petite final. So a pretty sparkly season that we're seeing, and a comeuppance here for the Wisconsin program. Exciting to see.
Yeah, we love to see Wisconsin back, and it's always they've had a really deep history in the sport. Lots of exciting athletes have learned to row at Wisconsin, and they're really good at developing talent there. I'm excited to see this play out in this Petite final here. So crews backing up onto the stake boats, getting ready to go under starters' orders. It's a great starting area. It's quite exciting to be right under the bridge. It gives it that little bit of sort of intimate atmosphere where everyone can hear what's going on. Deadly silent, a few whispers, a few whoops and hollers, but it's what it's all about. Getting that sort of 6-lane racing in 8s. There's nothing quite like it.
So it is just our crew from Wisconsin getting themselves locked in and, well, having to do quite a bit of adjustment as the wind kind of swirls around under the bridge and points them in a less than ideal direction. But they're getting themselves swung around and pointed down the lane now, while the rest of the crew's just patiently waiting to get under starters' orders.
Yep, all these crews, they'll be like racehorses wanting to go, and it's all they've been waiting for all afternoon. They raced this morning, and here we go. The flag is down, the crews are off, getting in those strokes nice and early, long and strong, who can get their boat up to speed as fast as possible. And right in the center here, you've got that Wisconsin crew who have blasted off nicely, who will take this early lead.
Well, there's something to be said about not having to spend too much time being locked on and letting things get tight and nervous, maybe coming into the stake boat a little bit later and just being under orders really quickly to get out of there has served the Badgers well here as we're getting underway in the first 250 meters of this Petite final of the men's varsity 8. We're looking at Syracuse, Northeastern, Wisconsin, BU, Georgetown, and Cornell.
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to take this early lead? You want to get off nice and strong in this early place, just to set your rhythm up. Even though these strokes are hard and high, they still want to have that foundation of rhythm, so then you can settle and get in the right place in the middle of the group. But I think BU have got off really nicely here, and they look like have taken a few seats nice and early. So yeah, good for them. They're taking it on, and they look like they've got on that really nice. If you're looking from where our position, you've got the shins are really nicely to vertical. They're getting that length, they're getting that power out there, and that's making a really big difference in terms of boat speed. Yeah,
they have done a nice job to get themselves out in front and across that 500 meter mark first, that crew from BU. But as you were saying, it's all about that transition, that ability to build the rhythm even in those high strokes, and then use those intermediate strokes to transition down to your base pace without losing that sense of connection, rhythm, and synchronicity coming through the base pace of this race. So BU, will they be the most effective as we start to step down into our base rhythm? It does look like our crews at the bottom of your picture, Cornell in lane 6, and that crew from Northeastern in lane 2, challenging now as we're coming through that second 500, using that stride out to their advantage.
Yeah, I think BU still remain marginally ahead. BU Northeastern, is it going to be a Boston fight out here today? How exciting!
Yeah, Boston just holding on to a very slight margin over Northeastern, but like I said before this race took off, Northeastern is going to be hungry and out for blood here. I would expect them to come on very strongly in this middle 1,000 meters, looking to get a little bit of redemption for missing out on the A final earlier today by just the tiniest, most painful of margins. So here they go, coming on very strongly now, challenging our early race leaders from BU through this second 500 meters.
Yeah, what a drone shot we've got here. You can see all these crews rowing very well, very sync, and I think BU holding on, but I would not call out that Northeastern crew. They are just getting long, getting around it, and actually getting excited to really lay it out there.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell because the margin is so close between these two Boston crews, but I would give the advantage and the momentum to Northeastern coming across that 1,000 meter mark, but not out of it. Lots of contact and overlap. Great contest between Syracuse, Wisconsin, Georgetown, and Cornell for the remaining positions in this race. 1-2, your two Boston schools out in front, Northeastern and Boston University, going toe-to-toe. Maybe just the advantage going to Northeastern now by a bow ball or less coming through this third 500, but look at this great surge that we're seeing at the top of your screen from Syracuse, and a good fight as well from that crew from Wisconsin. The feisty Badgers there in the middle of the race course doing really, really well to lead this midfield charge.
Yes, can Northeastern continue to push on? Can they open it up? It's not clear cut by any means, but there's that far side of the race course looks like they're trying to push away from the rest of the field. Who's going to take that 7th space spot? I think at the moment Northeastern are looking strong, but Syracuse on that far side, what can they do? What can they do to counter the move?
Yeah, I think reality is starting to strike this BU crew. They're starting to pay for that very fast start, because Wisconsin and Syracuse coming through now very strongly in this third 500. Well, and just coming into the final quarter even, with Northeastern on a tear and out by a full boat length over the rest of the field. BU, your early leader, dropping back now as Wisconsin and Syracuse come through very strongly into the final quarter.
Yeah, neck and neck between Wisco and BU. I think Wisco had a slight edge over them just as we went through that final that marker, but yeah, Northeastern continue to try and lead, continue to push on. What are Syracuse going to do to counter?
Well, Syracuse leading the charge here with Wisconsin coming right along, and BU seem to have just neutralized the move now. They've found another gear in that Boston boat just to see if they can hang tough with this Wisconsin crew for that position number 3 and 4 as we're coming through this last 500 meters. Syracuse just getting the best of the rest behind our very strongly performing Northeastern crew that's come on so brilliantly in the middle of the race course. Northeastern leading the way here all the way to the line as we come across the beach. Right now, your Northeastern Huskies just looking to break open water over Syracuse, Wisconsin, and Boston University, locked up for positions 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, Northeastern making a statement, pushing on, trying to nail that 7th place in their final few strokes, but it's going to be close between Syracuse and Wisco, and I think Northeastern coming through in first, and it's going to be Syracuse just over Wisco, then BU just out the shot. What a great race all round. Hats off to BU for taking it on nice and early and really making it a really exciting race. I think we're just waiting to hear where Georgetown and Cornell came in that final phase, but it looks like Cornell just up over Georgetown. So what a great petite final of that of the varsity heavyweight 8.